This is the guy at Georgia Outdoors. Me and my dad just made the about an hour-and-a-half journey to the coast, and we're gonna be doing some fishing today. My goal today is to catch a redfish and a trout on artificial. Now I am gonna fish with the live shrimp. That's kind of the safe way to catch them, but my goal is to try to catch someone artificial a little bit later on. I always get at least a couple of questions about the boat we're fishing out of. It is a 1650 Triton boat with a Evinrude E-Tech 60 horsepower on the back. It's an early 2000s model boat, but it's been, you know, low hours, really taken care of. It's perfect for what we do. We duck hunt out of it, gator hunt, all of it. And we did recently equip it with a spot lock trolling motor. And for this kind of fishing, that has been a game changer right there. You just drop the trolling motor and it holds you in place. But there's my dad walking down right now. So we're gonna pick him up, short ride. We're gonna pick up from there. Hopefully get to some fish in just a little bit. Water smooth as ice right now. All right, before there he is. No. Before I had the camera ready, I caught my first trout of the day on this. I'm not sure the color, I'll look at it in a minute, but on a little Z-Man jig head. Caught me a nice keeper trout. We've already put 2 of them in the cooler. 2 of them right at 14 inches. And we're just working this little sort of oyster rake right here. Just letting it bounce all on the ground. My dad's throwing live shrimp. He's caught 1. I'm throwing this little Saltwater Assassin on a Z-Man jig head. I've caught 1. Yeah. Right there. That's a pretty good trout, I believe. Pretty good trout. Look at that. I'll take it. All right, my goal today was to catch some fish on the artificial, and we have done so. I believe we have us another keeper for the cooler and for our fish fry. Let's just double check him. That one fought pretty good. The one I caught earlier didn't fight nearly as good. Look at that, 14.5 right there, every bit of 14.5. And you gotta be 14, and he is clearly over that line. And that's why we come back. Over the summer we were catching these and they were all 12, 13 inches. And now they're keeper size. And that's why you pay attention to where you're catching them at. Remember the spots and come back. And that's what we're catching them on right there.
You can be in the wind. So he hit down in that deeper water. Mm-hmm. He gave you a lot better fight, didn't he?
He did. Oh, I had another bite. Oh, I got him. He don't feel like he's as good though. I don't know though. Now I think, yeah, he's a smaller one there.
It's on the artificial.
Yeah, on the artificial. That one's not gonna be a keeper right there. So we're gonna ease this one back in the water. Very carefully.
There he is.
He's on something like pretty good fish.
Another trout.
Is it a trout?
Yeah, I believe he
Get that one back. Let's see what he's got. It looked like a redfish to me. If it's a trout, that's a pretty good one. No, little redfish. I think, no, that's a nice trout. Real nice trout. Look right there. That's a really nice trout. That's probably pushing 16 inches, 15 inches right there. And what was that on, Pops? Live shrimp? Yeah. On bottom?
on bottom.
Okay, so.
And I'm bouncing. I didn't let him get set.
He's bouncing. Right now, I don't know that one is catching fish a lot more than the other. So I'm gonna continue throwing this little swim bait I got going on. I don't know that I'll be able to compete with a live shrimp because look at him. He's already tearing them up on the live shrimp.
Ooh.
Let's see what he's got.
Get the net, get the net.
I'll get the net. That one ain't wanting to come up too easy. Look at that trout. Another nice trout. Another nice stud trout right there. Well, it's not gonna take too many more of those for me to make the change from artificial to live, but I wanted to catch a few. Yeah, I've caught 3 on artificial. Are you there?
Yeah.
I love the sound effects, Pops. I love them.
What, me?
You got, I mean, are you really doing a hook set if you ain't making the sound? There he is. That's a good one. So that's a good trout right there.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it. That's another good trout. Right there. Look at that one. That's probably my best one of the day. That's probably the one my dad just missed. Right now, I can't say which one is
Bigger?
well, not bigger, but what they're hitting better. I think they're just biting whatever we throw at them.
I'd stay with what you're doing.
Don't have to measure him because I know he's over that 14-inch slot, but let's just throw him in here just to get an idea. I'm guessing 16 on this one. 15, a little over 15, yep.
That's pretty fast.
Yep. Oh, right there, right there.
I never thought we'd be getting on the trout.
Right there. This one don't feel quite as good.
You take him to one.
I'll take him. He decided to fight late, so I think he's good. Oh yeah, he's real good. He just was a late fighter. I got a good hook set in the plate of his mouth, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull him in here. Another beautiful trout. I'm trying to hide my excitement, but boy, we are having an absolute blast right now.
That's a trout the way.
Yeah.
Don't seem to turn like that.
I'll get the net ready. He's swirling the water a little bit. Well, he got a little fight to him, don't it?
Got a lot of fight to it. That might be a red.
Yep, that's a slot red. It's a slot red. Slot reds have to be 14 to 23 inches. And this guy is right at 15 inches. So he's a...
That's the perfect.
Yep, perfect eater size right there. Comment below your favorite to eat. Is it the spot tail or is it the trout? I like both of them. There he is. I was just bouncing it, Pops.
There he is.
Oh, we got a double going on. Mine may be a little undersized.
Mine too. But look here. While we wasting time.
Mine might not be.
Look at that.
And how about let's get 2 of them in there? I think 2 at a time. I think mine may be a little bigger than yours. You want to measure him? Chunk him. And he is 13. He's not 14. So there's a little blood, but it's only a flesh wound right there. And he's not he was not hurt anywhere vital. That was just in the side of his gill plate. So he will be good to go. There he is. There he is. He hit that one on the drop. I don't know if he's good. He's a fighter. I don't, yeah, I think so. I'll measure him. I'm pretty sure he is.
That's 14. I look at the head. 15.
All right. Yeah, I think he's a keeper. Look right there. Look right there.
Bring him in. I think it's a trash can.
He ain't trash.
Huh?
I'm thinking a black drum that's, yep, look at the size of him.
Let me dip him. I'll bring him over here.
Got us a keeper black drum.
I reckon he is.
Hear him grunting? All right, that's a pretty cool fish right there. That's another species. And this is a good size eating black drum. He's in the keeping range, and the problem with black drum is if they get too big, they're no longer that good to eat anymore. But this one is a perfect size black drum for eating. We're having one of those days you talk about, you dream about, but it doesn't always happen. But guess what today? It's happening. Let's measure him just for the sake of it. Looking at about a 16-inch black drum.
Pretty beautiful. That thing fit fault good.
He did. He was right here under the boat, but you know where there's a small one, liable to be a big one.
Now, I've caught them like that. Out there at Savannah River, but that right there is good right there. But I've caught him there.
There he is. He's a good one there. Spot tail.
What are you doing that I ain't doing?
Hold my mouth right.
That's a spot.
That's what I said. I think he's a keeper too. Right on the boat.
Say that's just set still.
Oh yeah, he's 15.5 inches.
What you say?
I say sit still. After about a 2-hour drive, a stop at Burger King, and some coffee later, we are at the house. And after looking at the fish, I undersold us one. We actually had 11 trout. We had 3 redfish, and we had 1 black drum. My goal for this video was to catch some fish on artificial. We stopped at Country Feeding Outdoors. Jeremy hooked us up with some that I think they were called chicken on a chain. They were good color, and we bought some popping corks. But for me, I wanted artificial. It worked out. Dad fished mostly with shrimp, and I caught a couple fish on shrimp as well. But now we're gonna clean all these up. I'm gonna show you how we clean the redfish, how we clean the spot tail, and how we clean the black drum. Before I even start cleaning these fish, I like to give them a good rinse to get as much of that slime off of them as possible. Tell me that's not a good looking mess of fish right there. That is thumbnail worthy right there. All right, if you know me, you know I like to use an electric fillet knife, but in this one we're gonna be using the old fashioned fillet knife. This is an ugly stick with a 9-inch blade, and it is good and sharp. And if you're gonna do this with a real knife, you need a good and sharp one, but here's what I like to do. Come right behind that gill plate, make an incision all the way down to the spine, but being careful not to cut through the spine. Turn the blade 90 degrees and work your way back, and just go ahead and cut through those rib bones. They're not really hard, and this is a good and sharp knife. And once you get past those rib bones right there, it should just kind of cut like butter. And I'm just kind of working. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on there. And then here we go. At that point, you just work it all the way down. Knife just cuts through it. Flip it over. Look, no meat left on that bone. It cut right through it. And we're just going to take the knife and work it off with the skin. Be careful not to cut through the skin. It's a tender fish, and it's really more of a pulling motion in my opinion. Just like that. And right there. All that skin just came off of the back. And what we do now, there's these rib bones right here. Just kind of follow the contour and work your way down. Cut those rib bones off. And you are left with a wonderful, wonderful fillet. So easy to clean. Good sharp knife makes it all the easier. So that is our trout. We got to repeat that about 10 more times, or 10.5 more times. Redfish are very similar, but they have a lot thicker scales, and depending on how sharp your knife is, sometimes you can't cut through those rib bones, and you kind of got to fillet around them, which ain't a problem. But they have some really, really thick scales. Make that turn, Look right there. Careful not to cut all the way through. Right there. No meat left on that skin. Follow the rib bones right here. There you are. Good old redfish fillet. We're going to keep these a little bit separate. All right, and lastly is our black drum. These are probably, I don't know, I can say hard, but the hardest of the ones. I think there's a lot of meat on the back side of top of that head, so we're going to go right there. Right there. We're going to make an incision all the way down that spine. Sorry about the camera work there. Follow it along. You just kind of fold that back and work these rib bones just right there. That way you don't have to cut through the rib bones and dull your knife, because these have strong rib bones. Just follow the contour. Once you get past those rib bones, you can just kind of go through it at that point. And from there, I like to just work it on down. Finish cutting that off, and there you go. A nice black drum fillet with the skin on, but we're going to go ahead and remove the skin. Let the blade do the work. You don't have to do a whole lot of sawing. Right there. Nothing left behind there. Good old meaty fillet. About to go dump the guts. Dad was over there cleaning the boat, which is a job in itself, while I was cleaning the fish. There is some work involved. We spent about 2 hours getting down there, 2 hours getting back. We fished realistically, Pops, maybe three and a half hours. Yeah. So we didn't fish long. We didn't stay down there all day. And we just fished one tide change, not even a full tide change, really. And we got the fish we wanted and got out of there, and it was just a heck of a day. I think we're going to wait a little bit longer, and we're going to fry those fish up. That's our favorite way to eat them. You know, you can grill them, you can do what you want, but at the end of the day, we're from South Georgia. We like fried fish. We're down here at my parents' house. We're about to fry these fish up, and we're going to do a test to see which one's better, the trout, the black drum, or the redfish. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare them all three the same exact way. We go in there, we have them boneless, skinless. We coat them with some mustard, and that's kind of like some glue adhesive, and it adds a little bit of flavor. Dust them down with some Tony Sacheries, and I'm a flour guy. You can use fish batter or whatever you want, but I'm a flour guy. Dust them again with some Tony Sacheries. Then we drop them in the fryer for about 4 or 5 minutes. Kind of depends on the thickness of the fish. Then we take them out and we dust them down a little bit with some Lowry seasoned salt at that point, especially when they're good and hot. And we cooked all three fish the same exact way. And what we're gonna do is, you're not gonna see this in the video, we're all about to eat dinner. We got hush puppies, we got grits, all that. I got my family down. So we're gonna eat dinner, then after we eat, we're gonna all make our votes and see which fish we think was the best. All right, we just got done eating dinner, and this is my Aunt Cheryl, my mom's younger sister, right?
Absolutely.
My mom's younger sister. And she is going to give us her opinion on which fish was best. I gotta get this camera down a little bit lower, she's not the tallest. Which fish she thought was the best, and kind of give us a rundown. So on the three fish, redfish, black drum, and spot tail, give us your take.
Well, the first fish that I tasted was actually the black drum. It was delicious. The meat was white, flaky, absolutely delicious. It had the freshwater taste. The second fish that I had was actually the red spot. Again, a white fish, flaky, delicious. It had that earthy taste to it, but it tasted identical to the black drum. The third fish that I tasted was actually the trout. The trout was wonderfully spiced and seasoned, had a different taste altogether though. The meat is a little bit more translucent. It has a little bit softer taste to it, but it was very delicious. Saltwater taste, not freshwater. So out of the 3, I actually liked all 3.
That is the very diplomatic answer from my aunt right there. I think they're all good, and me and her talked about it. She nailed it spot on. The redfish and the black drum, almost, you couldn't tell them apart. A little bit thicker flakes, a little toothier, like I like to say it. The trout, in my opinion, a little bit softer. You said translucent, it really was.
Yeah.
Both good fish. You couldn't go wrong with either one of them. Thanks for the official Guide to Georgia Outdoors taste test.
My pleasure.
There we go.